I think that's fair. It's like comparing Marquise Lee and Robert Woods. It's the same.
Two
USC guys. Obviously Landry's a lot bigger than Woods, but I think you have the speed to power guys, right?
Yes.
And that's what that was.
The thing about the USC guys are such crisp route runners, though.
Yeah.
I love that nobody's talking about that, though.
No.
Nobody talks about how great the route runners are for USC. Who's the quarterback over there? That annoys me. I'm not hating on Darnold. I just... Let me get this from back here.
Good God. Yeah, Darnold throws a football like an angry parent reaching for his kid in the back seat.
I have a ball. I have a ball here. Now, if you want guys, everyone out there, get a football, get in your car. If you want to mimic Sam Darnold's windup, what you have to do is just bring it back underneath between the seats and then touch it. Try to tuck it in between back here. And then take it and then throw it.
Yeah.
Eddie Royal said?
No.
Let's preface this by saying Eddie Royal played with Tyrod at Virginia Tech.
Yes.
He said that if you put Tyrod on Jacksonville, they beat New England.
Okay. Okay. I'm not sure about that.
Do they drug test analysts?
I don't think it's part of the job
Eddie,
requirement.
Jesus. I have two questions for you.
Oh, all right, yeah.
One is, does it make it harder or easier to trade out of the 21st pick? To give that pick away knowing that you have the people that are trading into that know the Bills are right behind them again?
I think it makes it harder for the Bills to move that pick singly, right? So they're going to use that pick in next year's first to move, right? That conversation with that other team is like, okay, you got to tell me where you're going here.
Yeah,
I'm right behind you. I'm right behind you. You got to tell me where you're going here. And, I think that's going to make it harder to move that pick singly. If you're trading 21 and 22, you don't care. No, you don't care.
Unless you're trading it to
a team in the division?
No.
Which you don't do.
Who the fuck is 23?
It doesn't matter.
I know.
But trading 21 is, a lot of people will say, well, why don't you just trade 22? Well, I guess you could, right? You could trade 22, but the same conversation is going to happen with whatever team
that's seriously
you trade
like,
that pick to.
That's like, that's like cutting. That's like giving somebody, you got a Kit Kat, and you take 3, and you give them 1, giving somebody 22.
Right.
Here.
Yeah.
I'm going to have what I want, and then you get this.
But I guess what's the difference to the GMs?
No, I don't know. I just didn't know, because we haven't seen that.
No. We
so,
haven't seen this.
Especially with a team that was thinking of trading out of that. So, does that make it easier or harder on them to trade out, knowing that the Bills are going to be right behind them, whatever, if they take the pick in front of the Bills? Is my point. The other thing was this. I believe everyone grasped the concept of the tank year. Mm-hmm. They were fine. If the Bills didn't make the playoffs last year, I think everyone would have been fine. Not happy, but fine.
Right.
You're a huge proponent of rolling over cap money.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
If the streak is broken,
Mm-hmm.
and the Bills don't trade up for a quarterback,
Mm-hmm.
they keep 21 and 22. They sign role players again,
Mm-hmm.
and then they end up going into this offseason $25 million under the cap,
Okay.
and roll that over.
Yep.
Would you be upset?
No.
Knowing full well they may go 5-11 next year. Because
Yeah.
I don't care. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me one bit. They broke the streak. I guess people that hang their
So
hat
you think
on
there's
that.
a reset button here?
I don't mind the reset button. I wouldn't care. Like, it doesn't bother. Like, would I want them to go 11-5 this next year? Get all the parts in place right now. Make a run. I would love that. However, If they don't, I'm fine with that.
I don't think this is really in the fabric of who Bean and McDermott are.
They're go-getters, basically.
Yeah, I don't think this is in the fabric of who they are. I don't think they're looking at saying, okay, I'm going to suffer for a year to maybe get what I want.
Depends if Pegula gave them a 3 or 5 year plan.
Even if they had a 3-year plan or a 5-year plan, they came in ahead of expectations by making the playoffs. Unfortunately, once you make the playoffs, the expectation is to return.
They were 9-7 and got a lot of help. Can we just
Yeah,
stop saying that they were a 12-4 team, that they made the playoffs and were Super Bowl favorites? Like, come on, guys.
No, I get it. I
mean, but that's the thing I was thinking about the other day that I thought was very, very interesting. Hello, officer. It's a great day, isn't it? Okay, you know, they're like, okay, everyone says they can move here, they can move there, they can do this, they can do that, they can trade up for Cousins, they can get Foles, they can get McCarron, they can trade up with the Giants because there's a
relationship with Gettleman,
all that other stuff. They can do all this stuff.
Right.
That's why speculation during the offseason is so much fun, and at the same time so frustrating, because you get these crazies out of the woodwork that say, you know what?
Well,
they're going to trade up with Indy, and they're going to give Indy Glenn Incognito, their entire offensive line.
What gets me here is that I don't think Cordy Glenn has much trade value as people think he does.
4th round pick, maybe.
Yeah, I don't think he's got enough trade value to even consider moving. Realistically, he's more valuable on your team than off, considering the compensation you're going to get and his salary. I mean, what
does baseball have player to be named later?
Yeah.
That's what Glenn is.
The player to be named later?
Yeah. When they do trades, he's the throw-in at the end of the pick.
No. I don't think he carries a whole lot of trade value. And that's, okay, sure. But I don't think the Bills are in a position to move next year's first. And the reason that I say that is I look at the roster for next year, and the Bills, yes, they have a lot of picks early, right? But they didn't exactly build this team for the future last season. They built them all with 1-year contracts, right? So they made a house of cards, and now a lot of those cards aren't in the deck anymore. So what are you going to do, right? You got to go back and rebuild the house of cards. That's what they did. They really built a whole structure on 1-year contracts.
You're not going to make commitments to guys that you don't see here in 5 years.
Right. But that's why I don't think you move next year's first, regardless of what you want.
No,
because I don't think there's enough structure to be able to survive another Roscoe Parrish year.
Especially if you go 5-11.
Exactly. That's what I mean. So if the expectation really is that the Bills are just going to deal with their production next year, and it is what it is, but they're going to go get their quarterback, all right, sure, but can you survive for 2 years without a first-round pick? I know it's just one player. I get it. I know it's just one player. But it's a big statement for what your plan is.
Yes.
It's a very bold statement for what your plan is going forward. So, I mean, do I want another year where we draft Roscoe Parrish the year after trading up to draft a quarterback? No, I don't want to relive that again. I don't want that again.
Roscoe Parrish.
That's what it was. That was our weapon. Never draft a receiver from the U. Miami. Never draft a Miami University.
Why not?
Receiver. Why?
Why?
Hurricanes?
Yeah. Michael Irvin. Santana Moss.
Okay. Ready.
Big players make big plays in big games. Bam!
You're ridiculous.
Among other things.
Yeah, fact.